It's tough to stomach the price of a new car right now, with the average nearing $50,000. But if you buy a reliable car, your money goes a lot further. Consumer investigator Christine Lazar shows us which new cars really make the most financial sense.
It's the first couple of years that you lose the most money on a car.
Buying the cheapest car you can get that has the longest lifespan. Today's cars, we see them I see cars lasting 250,000 miles.
Dealers hate this list, and the moment you see what's on it, you'll understand exactly why. Right now, there are 10 cars you should be buying. Vehicles so reliable, so underpriced, and so quietly unstoppable that owners refuse to sell them even at 250,000 miles. People on forums at 250,000 miles asking, should I finally trade it in? And the answer they keep getting and keep accepting is no. Just keep driving it. But sitting on the other side of that coin, 5 cars that will absolutely wreck your finances. And here's what makes it dangerous. These aren't obviously bad cars. Some of them look stunning on the lot. Some of them carry legendary badges. Some of them are being advertised right now with 0% financing and a smile. And every single one of them has a pattern. Engine failures, transmission disasters, repair bills that hit before you've even finished paying off the loan. We're talking about America's best-selling truck, a vehicle that has dominated the market for over 40 years, and Consumer Reports gave its latest version a reliability score of 7 out of 100. Only 30% of owners said they got what they paid for. That's not a bad review, that's a warning. And on the buy side, a used luxury SUV that looks like it belongs in a country club parking lot. Leather seats, wood trim, premium badge. But underneath all of that, it's the exact same machine that military contractors and international aid agencies take into some of the most punishing environments on Earth. Places where breaking down doesn't mean calling a tow truck. It means you're stranded for days. One of these lists will save you thousands of dollars. The other one could cost you everything. So before you step foot on a lot, before you sign anything, before you trust a word a dealer tells you, here's the real question. Do you actually know which side of this list your next car is on? Let's get into the buy list. Number 10, the Subaru Forester. Specifically, the 4th and 5th generations, 2014 through today. Now, Subaru's reputation is complicated, and it's worth addressing that head on. The older models had real head gasket problems. That part is true, and nobody is going to pretend otherwise. But Subaru fixed it. Starting with the 2014 redesign, they moved to a timing chain setup and addressed those reliability concerns directly. The modern Forester became a genuinely tough, dependable daily driver that quietly racks up miles without demanding much in return. A big reason is the Boxer engine layout. The cylinders sit flat instead of upright. That lowers the center of gravity and reduces vibration over time. Less vibration means less stress on components. Simple physics. Add in Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive, battle-tested for decades in snow, mud, and rain. And you've got a vehicle that handles real conditions, not just good weather. Owners constantly mention the visibility too. Huge windows, thin pillars, clear sightlines in every direction. No nonsense, dependable, and it just keeps going. Number 9, the Honda Pilot. 3rd generation, 2016 through 2022. 3 rows, a 3.5-liter V6, and a track record of boring, beautiful reliability. Here's what makes this engine last. It was designed for far more stress than school runs and highway cruising can ever throw at it. When an engine consistently operates below its limits, it lasts. Simple as that. Honda also built the Pilot to share parts with the Odyssey minivan and the Ridgeline pickup. These components were produced by the millions. Every kink got ironed out fast, and replacement parts are cheap and available everywhere. Your local shop can fix a Pilot. You don't need a specialist, you don't need a dealer, and you don't need a second mortgage to cover the bill. Number 8, the Acura RDX. 2nd generation, 2013 through 2018. Pay close attention here because this one is a sleeper deal most buyers completely miss. Acura stumbled with the 3rd generation. turbocharged 4-cylinder, a more complex transmission, infotainment that owners have been less than thrilled about. But the second gen? Totally different story. This one ran a 3.5-liter V6 paired with a 6-speed automatic. Old school, proven, and the J-Series V6 is one of the most celebrated engines Honda has ever built. One maintenance item to stay on top of: the timing belt at 100,000 miles. Do that single service, and this engine will go another 100,000 without flinching. Simpler all-wheel drive system, fewer failure points, cheaper fluid services. Genuine luxury at used car money with maintenance bills that will not ruin you. Before we keep going, if you are seriously shopping right now, you need my free ebook, Avoid These 17 Cars in 2026. I have seen too many people buy the wrong car and spend the next 3 years paying for it. Link is in the description. Download it free, then come back and finish this list. Number 7. The Honda CR-V, 4th and 5th generation models, 2012 through 2022, and specifically 2 versions of it, the earlier models with the 2.4-liter K24 engine, and the newer hybrid. The K24 engine in the older CR-V is the stuff of legend on mechanic forums. It is simple, it is smooth, and it has been around long enough that every technician in the country has worked on one. Maintenance costs on these average around $47 a year. Let that number sit for a second. $47. That is not a typo, and that is not a best-case scenario. That is the average. The newer hybrid takes things even further. Honda's 2-motor hybrid system ditches the traditional transmission almost entirely. The electric motor connects directly to the wheels. Fewer moving parts means fewer things that can go wrong. Regenerative braking means your brake pads can last 100,000 miles instead of 40,000. CR-V owners are a group that simply will not let go of their vehicles. Forums are full of people sitting at 220,000, 250,000 miles, asking whether they should finally trade it in. The answer they keep getting and keep accepting is no. Just keep driving it. Number 6. The Mazda CX-5, both generations, 2012 through today, and this one deserves far more credit than it gets. Mazda took a very specific approach here. Instead of chasing fuel economy by shrinking the engine and bolting on a turbo, they built a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter with a high compression ratio and an exhaust setup that gets efficiency without the heat stress of forced induction. They called it Sky Active, and it works. But here is the decision that really separates the CX-5 from most of its competition. Mazda did not put a CVT in this vehicle. While other manufacturers were going all in on belt-driven transmissions, Mazda said no and stuck with the traditional 6-speed torque converter automatic. That one call alone is a major reason this car holds up over the long haul. The interior looks and feels like something that costs $10,000 more than it does. Owners compare it to entry-level Audi or BMW, but with Japanese reliability underneath. Annual maintenance averages $400 to $500. That is Corolla money for an SUV that drives like a sports car. Number 5. The Toyota Highlander, 3rd and 4th generation, 2014 through today. 3 rows, fuel efficient, family proof, and built on the same bones as the Lexus RX. Toyota's approach was straightforward. Take what works, share it across vehicles, build it in massive quantities until every flaw is gone. The hybrid version is where this gets remarkable. The eCVT sounds like a regular CVT, but it is not. It is a planetary gear set. No belts, no bands, no clutches, just gears. Some Highlander hybrid owners are reporting 300,000 miles on the original hybrid battery and eCVT, and it returns 36 miles per gallon while hauling a family of 7. Families hold on to these for a decade and never look back. Number 4. The Lexus RX, 3rd and 4th generation, 2010 through 2022. This is the benchmark. The vehicle that set the standard for luxury crossover reliability and has held that standard for over 2 decades. The 3.5-liter V6 in the RX 350 is one of the most tested engines Toyota has ever produced. It has been in production long enough that every potential weakness has been identified and fixed. By the time you are buying one, you are getting a powertrain that has been stress-tested by millions of owners across millions of miles. There are no surprises left in this engine. Everything that could go wrong already did years ago, and it got corrected. Now compare that to a German luxury crossover at 100,000 miles. A BMW X5 or Audi Q7 at 6 figures on the odometer starts sending you bills. Air suspension failures, electronic gremlins, specialized brake components that only one shop in your city stocks. The RX at 100,000 miles typically just needs tires and fluid changes. Owners hold on to these for years because the cabin materials hold up, the ride stays smooth, and the repair bills stay small. Early 2000 SRX models are still in daily service with original engines. That is the Lexus RX in a nutshell. Number 3, the Toyota Sequoia, second generation, 2008 through 2022. And this is the vehicle with arguably the most impressive raw numbers on this entire list. It is built on the Tundra pickup truck platform. The axles, the frame, the cooling system, all of it was engineered for serious heavy-duty work. When you use truck-grade hardware primarily as a family hauler, those components are barely breaking a sweat for most of their lives. The 5.7-liter V8 under the hood has a reputation that borders on mythological. Tundra owners have taken this engine past 1 million miles. Not 100,000, 1 million. Toyota built it with an oversized cooling system and internal components that are simply heavier and more robust than they need to be. That overbuilding is exactly why they last. According to IC Cars, about 39.1% of second-generation Sequoias make it past 250,000 miles. That is roughly 8 times higher than the average vehicle. Number 2, the Lexus GX460, second generation, 2010 through 2023. And if you do not know the secret behind this vehicle, you are about to. It looks like a premium luxury SUV built for country club parking lots, and it is that. But underneath the leather, the wood trim, and the Lexus badge, this thing is a global Land Cruiser Prado. The same vehicle that international aid agencies, military contractors, and expedition teams rely on in some of the most punishing environments on Earth. Toyota did not build this for American suburbs. They built it for roads where breaking down means you are stranded for days. Then they put a Lexus badge on it. The 4.6-liter V8 paired with a 6-speed automatic has been largely unchanged across this entire generation. Known failure points identified, every one of them fixed. It will outlive almost everything else in its price range. Number 1, the Toyota 4Runner, 5th generation, 2010 through 2024. And nobody is surprised. That is completely fine, because the lack of surprise is actually the whole point. This vehicle has been in production in essentially the same form for 14 years. 14 years. And while every other manufacturer was out there chasing the next trend, adding turbocharged engines, 10-speed transmissions, and giant touchscreens that turn into expensive paperweights the moment the warranty expires, Toyota kept the 4Runner exactly where it was. Same platform, same engine, same straightforward approach. And owners are absolutely obsessed with it for exactly that reason. The 4.0-liter V6 uses a timing chain, not a belt. That means no replacement interval. No surprise $1,200 service showing up at 90,000 miles because a belt that was quietly degrading finally gave out. The chain is there for the life of the engine. Done. The 5-speed automatic transmission is considered over-engineered for the vehicle's weight. Mechanics call it boring. And in the reliability world, boring is the single highest compliment you can give a transmission. Boring means it just works. Boring means it keeps working. Boring means you are not standing in a service bay at 60,000 miles trying to understand a repair estimate that is longer than your mortgage paperwork. The body-on-frame construction is another thing that separates this vehicle from almost everything else in its segment. This is a truck, not a car dressed up to look like one, not a unibody crossover wearing a tough exterior, but an actual truck-based platform that handles off-road abuse, high-mileage stress, and daily punishment without developing the structural rattles and suspension fatigue that softer vehicles accumulate over time. The frame does not flex the same way. The suspension does not wear the same way. It is built from a completely different philosophy. And then there are the physical knobs and buttons for climate control. Still there, still working, still simple. No giant tablet interface that costs $3,000 to replace when it eventually dies, and it will eventually die. No software update that accidentally breaks a feature you use every single day. Just controls that do what controls are supposed to do every single time you touch them. Simply put, this is the cast iron skillet of SUVs. You do not baby it, you do not retire it, and you do not replace it. You just keep using it. Year after year, mile after mile, decade after decade. While other vehicles come and go, depreciate and fail and get traded in out of frustration, the 4Runner just sits in the driveway ready to go again tomorrow morning. That is number 1. And now it is time to talk about the other side of this list. These are the 5 cars that will bankrupt you. And just to be clear about what that means, these are not vehicles with a few minor complaints or some bad reviews online. These are vehicles with documented, repeated, systemic failures that hit owners hard, hit them early, and hit them in the wallet when they can least afford it. Number 5, the Jeep Cherokee. Specifically, the 2014 model. And Jeep has earned its reputation at this point. Year after year, Consumer Reports and J.D. Power both hammer it for dependability. This is not a coincidence. This is a pattern. The heart of the 2014 Cherokee's problem was the ZF 9-speed automatic transmission. Hard shifts, gear hunting, delayed response. Owners described it as feeling broken right off the lot. Jeep pushed out software update after software update, and none of them fixed the core issue. Then came the 2.4-liter Tiger Shark engine, burning oil at a rate that caught most owners completely off guard. Many did not notice until the motor locked up, sometimes well before 70,000 miles. Add in glitchy electronics and recalls for rollaway risks, and you have a vehicle that was failing people in multiple directions at the same time. I would not touch a 2014 Cherokee with a 10-foot pole. Number 4, the Ford Focus. 2012 through 2016. It looked modern. It promised great fuel economy, and it was packed with technology. And the dual-clutch power-shift automatic transmission turned it into a rolling lawsuit. Instead of smooth shifts, drivers got grinding, jerking, and sudden hesitation. An investigation by the Detroit Free Press found that Ford knew these gearboxes were failing early and sold them anyway. Thousands of complaints piled up at NHTSA. Class action cases dragged on for years. Clutches wore out like brake pads. Control modules fried and left cars stuck in neutral or lurching into traffic without warning. Many failed before 70,000 miles. Some failed under 30,000 miles. It made the Focus nearly worthless on the used market, and it cost Ford far more than the cars themselves ever made back. Number 3, Hyundai and Kia. Different models, same catastrophic story, because they all shared the Theta 2 2.4-liter engine. And the flaw was not something that developed over time or wore down through neglect. It was baked in at the factory before the car ever left the lot. Metal shavings from the machining process were left inside the engine blocks during production. Those shavings clogged oil passages and starved the bearings. Once the bearings started wearing, you would hear a knock. Ignore that knock, and the engine seized. No second chances, no warning lights that showed up early enough to matter. Just a knock, and then a dead motor. Hyundai and Kia had to recall over 1.6 million vehicles in 2015 alone. More recalls followed, covering Sonatas, Optimus, Sorrentos, and more. NHTSA opened investigations after cars stalled on highways. Engine fires were reported, tied directly to seized motors and oil leaks. The repair almost always meant a full engine replacement. These motors rarely made it past midlife, and buying one without knowing the full engine history is a gamble you will almost certainly lose. Number 2, the GM 6.2-liter L87 V8, found in the 2021 through 2024 Chevrolet Silverado 1500, Tahoe, Suburban, GMC Sierra 1500, Yukon, and Cadillac Escalade. These are expensive, premium machines. And internal manufacturing defects in the connecting rods and crankshaft bearings led to engine damage, sudden power loss, and in some cases, complete engine seizure. In April 2025, GM recalled nearly 598,000 of these vehicles. But that recall did not come out of nowhere. Over 28,000 field complaints about the L87 engine had already piled up before GM acted. Consumer Reports flagged the 2021 Silverado 1500 and Sierra 1500 as among the least reliable vehicles on the market, giving them a predicted reliability score of just 31 out of 100. One owner had his Escalade lose power without any warning at 60,000 miles. No indicator, no buildup, just gone. That is not what you expect when you are paying Escalade money. Number 1. The Ford F-150 Hybrid, 2021 through 2025. This one needs a moment of context before we get into it. The F-150 is America's best-selling truck and has been for over 40 years. That is not marketing language. It is just the reality of the American auto market. Millions of people have trusted this truck with their livelihoods, their businesses, and their families. And that trust is exactly what makes this particular version so damaging. Consumer Reports gave the F-150 Hybrid a reliability score of 7 out of 100. Not 70, not 37. 7. The failure list reads like everything that can go wrong with a modern vehicle decided to show up in one place at the same time. Hybrid battery issues, early transmission failures, coolant leaks, software glitches, random power loss, engines refusing to start and leaving owners stranded with no warning and no explanation. The hybrid system, which was supposed to be the selling point, made things worse instead of better. Battery modules failed prematurely, regenerative braking acted unpredictably, and combined with the 10-speed automatic transmission, drivers were facing catastrophic repair bills before they ever hit 70,000 miles. NHTSA complaints stack up fast on these. Seized motors, stalled trucks, and total engine replacements showing up at 50,000 and 60,000 miles on vehicles that cost well over $50,000 new. But the number that really tells the story is this one. When owners were asked directly whether they got what they paid for relative to the price they paid, only 30% said yes on a premium-priced truck. 30%. That is not a dissatisfied minority. It is a majority of buyers feeling financial burned by a vehicle wearing America's most trusted truck badge. No badge protects you from a bad engineering decision. And this is exactly why I put together the free ebook, Avoid These 17 Cars in 2026. It covers every make, model, and year you need to stay away from right now, whether you are buying new or used. No filler, no fluff, just the list. Download it free through the link in the description. Here is the thing that nobody at the dealership is going to tell you. The difference between a car that costs you $5,000 over 5 years and one that costs you $25,000 is almost never the sticker price. It is the decision you make in the lot. It is whether you walked in knowing what you were looking at, or whether you walked in trusting that a good-looking car with a familiar badge was going to treat you right. The vehicles on the BY list are not exciting. They are not meant to be. Nobody is going to turn heads pulling out of a parking lot in a 4th-generation Honda CR-V or a 3rd-generation Toyota Highlander. But those owners are not worried about turning heads. They are worried about making it to 200,000 miles without a single major repair bill, and they are doing exactly that, quietly, reliably, every single day. The vehicles on the avoid list are a different story. Some of them look incredible. Some of them carry names that have meant something in this industry for decades. Some of them are sitting on lots right now with big incentives and low monthly payments, designed to make the decision feel easy. And the badge does not matter if the engineering underneath it is flawed. A reliability score of 7 out of 100 does not care how good the truck looks in the driveway. Buy smart. Stay on top of basic maintenance. And let the dealers be frustrated about it, because a customer who does their homework is a customer who does not end up back in the service bay 6 months later wondering where everything went wrong. If this list helped you, hit the like button and subscribe. Every week we put out videos exactly like this one, built to help you make better decisions with your money before you sign anything. And drop a comment below telling me which car on the buy list you would actually drive. I read every single one. I will see you in the next one.